Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I'm going to go on a photo walk in downtown Chattanooga, and I'm going to take the Nikon Zf and the 50mm f1.8 S-series lens and see what I can come away with this camera system combination. I recently did a video from Milwaukee where I talked about these cast iron pillars. They're cast iron just like the ones in Chattanooga, but this gives you an idea of how thick they are. They look like they're simple decorations stuck on the front of the building, but that's how thick they are. This is easily 15 inches thick front to back, so it fits into the masonry wall. And I found one that was freestanding there so you could actually see how deep they are. You know, it's not a little piece of metal stuck on the front as a decoration. It's actually a structural member of the building, and it's like almost 2 feet wide that way. And these things are, you know, 6 inches wide in the front. These are made in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is the Cahill Iron Works, and they're different periods. You got these that look like this. Of course, different models, but you have here, it actually has Chattanooga, Tennessee actually on this one, where they've drilled through it to probably put a reinforcement in the building. But this one is missing it. Isn't that strange? It's the same exact fixture, they've just ground it off. I got a security camera right there. They're probably watching me watch them. But it's interesting to see these things. Little birds. And this building has been held up by these I-beam or tube steel supports for several years now. Not sure, but I'm gonna guess this building is probably destined for destruction at some point, because, you know, if they're holding it together, there's cables passing through the building. You can see them on the posts. Yeah, it's not looking good. This building here provides the most compelling evidence I've found so far for the whole elevating Chattanooga's downtown area in the 1880s. Supposedly they brought the grade up like 20 feet or something, and it tapers further inland you go, but they done it for all the way down to basically a little past Market Street. And this building shows evidence of that. This facade's been put on as newer. This is the original structure. And you can see the archways for the downstairs windows right at the edge of the sidewalk level. There's no reason to build brick arches in the basement. You can see there's one there, there's one there. And there's the vintage bricks. You see the mortar joints are rotten. I'm down here at 4th Street and Cherry Street right now. The view of, I've climbed up here on top of a parking garage, up the stairwell right here. And I'm able to get on the roof, and I've got some pretty good photos from up here. You can kind of see things from up here that you can't see from ground level, that you don't never really notice. And it makes me wonder, right over there, there's a series of buildings where Panera Bread and this Text Request and Taco Mac, and then behind those buildings, it looks like there might be an alley that separates this little cantina looking place from that building on Broad Street. This is Market, that's Broad over there. It's got me curious if I can get between those buildings. Why would I want to? Because I want to see the wall where it meets the grade. I'm kind of now on the hunt for these buildings that existed when they did the ground fill and brought the grade up down here next to the river. I'm pretty convinced that it happened. I just would like to find a little more definitive evidence. Supposedly you can go in the sports barn and see stuff in their basement, and maybe there's even like a tunnel or something, probably a maintenance access tunnel, which really and truly isn't the same thing. But yeah, that building down there at 6th, that was pretty definitive. So yeah, I'd like to find something down here, down in what I call the river plain. This is all about level, goes down to the water, which is that way. So let's just go take a look. Whew. Just watched a YouTube video by a fella who did over 100,000 steps in one photo walk. It wound up being something like 48 miles. Took him 18 hours to do it. He's in England somewhere. I think he said he did it in Manchester. I'll populate the screen with his channel if you're interested in seeing that. It was interesting to watch his progression through the day while he was doing all those steps, because he would note the miles and the number of steps when he would hit a milestone. As the day wore on, the enthusiasm started to wane. He had blisters and things, and he started to walk slower. It was kind of cool. But you know, I was thinking about that. It's like, pretty sure I couldn't possibly do 100,000 steps in one day. I think I did 30,000 in one day while I was doing that trip in England, and that was a lot. Like way more than I would really want to do in a day. 20,000 is pretty good Benny for me, so I can just imagine what 100,000 was. It had to be like operating on willpower alone by the end. He walked all the way back home. Yeah, he wound up, I think, with like 116,000 steps before he was all said and done. But he did it. But it took him all day to do it. But he also left out with that, the step goal was more of the goal of the trip than the photography aspect of it. He did stop and take photos once an hour, I think, for the first hour, for the first few hours. But toward the end, he done stowed the camera, and it was just about completing the task. But yeah, I've done walked a couple of miles today, and it's pretty hot today. I don't know. I was thinking about doing about 5, but I don't know if I'm gonna get 5 in. I really ain't seeing a whole lot to photograph that is of any real interest. I'm down here in the midday sun, so I'm looking for stuff, but it's just nothing's just jumping out at me to take a picture of it, you know. I've got a few, but I'm just trying to find something interesting to photograph. Well, this day's turned out to be more than just photography. It's more like a walk with a camera. It's not too bad, but of course the wind starts blowing the moment I got the camera out. There was 0 wind until I did that. Figures. But I'm gonna go down here to the old foundry and see what it looks like now that they've finished, because now they've got it all cleaned up from what I can tell. And I'm going to get some photos of that, and then I'm going to start making my way back to the truck. I wonder what provokes them to save certain buildings like this tiny little one right here, as opposed to all that structure that was in the middle here, and then leave the original. I'm assuming that's the original foundry building in the back there, you know, that one, and they saved it for some reason. And then the rest of it, they just demolished, cut up, and took away. It's just all gone. It's just a big concrete slab now. But there was a building here in between here and that little one there. And they left that one and took this one. It's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just learned something interesting that I didn't realize until today. If you cross Martin Luther King Boulevard on Chestnut Street, when it crosses the intersection, it turns into Carter. And I always wondered, why does it change names inside the city when it crosses what used to be 9th Street? Because you still have 10th and 11th. We're at 13th right now. And here at 13th Street, it would stand to reason that you would still be traveling along, you know, Chestnut, not Carter. So why would you change the name to Carter? Well, it seems that Carter goes in a slightly different direction. So as you can see, I'm on Chestnut now. Right down there at that stop sign is Carter. So apparently the road used to come straight on down past the TVA building right there, and then turn and come this way, and that was Chestnut. And Carter was a road that went off basically to the right, and through city planning changes and civil engineering and things, they renamed or rebuilt the intersection and changed the parking arrangements and all of that sort of thing over the years. And now Chestnut's one street over from where it used to be. Here's what I'm talking about. Okay. Carter Street goes straight down through there and would go to where, you see that West Village sign? Just to this side of that sign, on the other side of that Bank of America building, is the intersection where Carter meets Chestnut. So Chestnut would at one time went straight down through here. Interesting to finally learn that. Yeah, now it starts to make sense. They just literally did away with the street to create the parking lot and the Bank of America building. Huh. I'm literally walking down Chestnut Street as we speak. Doesn't look like it, does it? Till you turn around and look this way and you see Chestnut Street right there. Makes sense now. Well, I'm back to the truck. I stopped in at Pete's Coffee, got me a snack and a cup of coffee, and washed my glasses so I could see out of them again. But I've had actually a little bit of luck toward the end, and that whole discovering how Chestnut Street actually runs was kind of a highlight of today's walk. Let's see, how many miles did I get? I almost got 5 miles. I got 4.7 miles, 11,994 steps. I will walk to that police car and back to get my 12,000 steps. That close. We're not gonna let that slide. So, but yeah, I got almost 5 miles on my walk today. So that's what my photo walk today looked like. I appreciate you following along, and if you stayed to this point in the video, I really appreciate it. And there's likes and subscribes and all that jazz. So until next time, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I'm going to tell you to get your camera out. Go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Let's get them steps in. Like I was saying, I was going to walk to this police car and back. So we're going to go down here, circle this pin oak. It's either a pin oak or a water oak. Go back to the truck and at least have our 12,000. Seems the app hadn't fully updated. I did get 5 miles with 12,520 steps. Now I know I didn't do 520 walking out of that police car and back, so I must have had that beforehand. Yeah, when I updated it again after making the lap around the tree 20 yards over there, it gave me 5.1 miles and I have my 12,500 steps. So we win for the day.